Welcome on It's the Midday Show. Hugh Douglas, Joe Gill, you guys with us. 215-592-9494. Kyle Quinn behind the glass. A lot to get to today. Another spot to give away in the Midday Show Fantasy Football League. We got a preseason game tonight. And we got a victory for the Phillies last night. Good morning, Hugh.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Philly. Hey, listen, especially the kids. When you're given a gift, even if you don't like it, you have to act like you do. I don't know if y'all saw last night. Joel Embiid was gifted from his shoe company, Skechers, gifted some gold shoes for winning a gold medal. Mm-hmm. I don't know Joel Embiid well enough to actually make this statement, but I'm going to do it anyway because I do reckless speculation. But he didn't look too happy about it because he put those shoes back in the box very, very quickly.
So he didn't learn the lesson you're trying to teach
Yeah, I'm
everyone.
trying to teach. You got to at least look enthusiastic. Or maybe that's just his demeanor. Maybe that's just the style that he looks or whatever. But when he got those shoes, he couldn't put them back in the box fast enough. They were not, shout out to him and his deal that he has with Skechers. But I mean, I guess I'm not the target audience. Just
smile, you got to smile and nod sometimes.
I'm not the target audience.
Well, you mentioned the word demeanor there, Hugh, and that's good advice for everyone out there. Well, my demeanor is way better today, and it was better last night when Kyle Schwarber hit the home run. He would have put the Phillies ahead. Hugh, last night, that game started off like so many games in recent days where they're down early. Tyler Phillips is getting hitting batters, and it's like, are we kidding here? Are they going to get swept at home by the Miami Marlins, hours after what seemed like a team meeting? Like, is it really, are they falling apart to that level? And Hugh, they fight back a little bit and they scratch across 2 runs, but then they go back down 5-2 before the Schwarber home run. And Hugh, this may sound a little over the top, but I believe it this morning. That home run saved the season. If they lose last night to Miami.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
Oh, it would have felt like a spiral. It would have felt like everything yesterday, rock bottom. They would have kept digging it. And he hits that home run, and it almost felt like it just lifted everyone's spirits in that ballpark. They looked like they had a different feel on them as a team, and then they kept adding on runs. Hugh, that moment last night for Schwarber was huge because this team was on the verge of getting swept at home by the Marlins.
Man, listen, let me tell you. I set my alarm, and I always set it too late. And I woke up like right after the game had started. Mm-hmm. So I thought I was having a deja vu or a Groundhog Day moment. Because when I turned the TV on, it's 3-0, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why are they recapping yesterday's game? Because that's the way yesterday's game started. And there was a lot of trepidation. You could tell it was in the stadium. But the one thing that they didn't do, they didn't give up. And they showed that fight that they had shown earlier in the season, and that's what got them through, man. They never gave up. And I think they probably needed that adversity early on because, we did hear rumors about the team meeting and everything. And for them to get knocked down like that and get up off the campus, I think that was really big for them.
Well, it was huge. 215-592-9494. For your reaction to the Phillies win last night, the Schwarber Grand Slam, a win they grinded out. So 2 stats I saw last night. One I actually heard on the broadcast on the way home. I was at Jersey's in Glenside last night for our Go Yards.
How was that?
It was great. I mean, and Schwarber hit the home run, which made it even better.
Oh, that was bananas when that happened, I imagine.
It was awesome. So I'm driving home, and I heard that last night was the first time all year they had won a game when going down 3 or more runs in the first inning. So you mentioned fight. They haven't fought like this in a game the entire season. They actually fought back from 2 3-run deficits last night. So that was awesome to see. The second thing, Hugh, that hit me, and I saw this stat after the game, they are now 22-3 when Kyle Schwarber hits a home run. Last week, Hugh, we had that discussion. Is he really the team MVP? Is it Harper? Who's the MVP of the team? There's something about Schwarber. He's like the heartbeat of the team. And that moment there, down. And I'll give your guy, because I think everyone contributed last night, that right before the Schwarber Grand Slam, Rojas beat out an infield hit.
Yes.
He got on, hit the ball in the hole at shortstop, and with his speed, if it's a chopper like that, he's going to get on. And he got on, and then Schwarber hit the home run. But, Hugh, 22-3 when Schwarber hits a home run, that's telling. Like, when he hits a home run, they win.
Yeah, man, and I tell you what, there was some times where, like, I forgot which game it was, but when he did hit a home run like that, they didn't win. But, boy, last night, he uplifted everybody's spirits when he hit that grand salami, man. And it was still, like, it was touch and go. People were a little nervous. When that was going on because we were winning, but you just didn't know how it was going to play out. But when he did that, man, it was just like a weight lifted off of everybody's back.
Oh, I could feel it. When they were down 3-0 and 5-2, I was anticipating what we would hear today from callers. Season is over. They're cooked. Fire Topper. Get rid of it. I mean,
all that was in play.
Everything. Like we had Kyle played the Titanic music yesterday. We would have been taking on water here today if they had lost that game. They got swept by Miami.
Listen, I am so happy. And hopefully this is the start of the momentum changer, the momentum swing right here, because, man, I tell you, it's so much more pleasant being here, sitting in this chair on a daily basis when the Phillies are winning.
Well, and we can anticipate and look forward to the playoffs and not talking.
Yes, and not talk about they're washed and they're cooked and it's over, yeah.
Well, I mean, we had a call yesterday where someone, I think it was Ken, who said they're more likely to miss the playoffs. Like the collapse word has been on like the tip of people's tongue now for weeks. And look, I know it's just one game, but yesterday felt like a moment they could exhale. And before the game, it felt like they knew they needed to talk. Here is Topper before the game on his decision to sit Trey Turner down, which he did. And, of course, did this team have a team meeting? It seemed like no one is willing to go on the record and say it. Here's Topper yesterday before the game.
What went into it? Yeah. I'm just giving him a breather. Just get him off his feet for a day and let him spend some more time working on his swing.
Is there anything special to the guys before the game today, or is the message just keep grinding?
That's it. Every day.
No special meeting or anything like that?
Well, just so you know my policy, I don't announce meetings.
Okay.
What happens in the clubhouse stays in the clubhouse, and that's between us.
What happens in the clubhouse stays in the clubhouse. You know what I didn't hear there, Hugh, from Topper? I didn't hear him say there was no meeting. And there's reports out there, both Mac Elba, The Athletic, and Scott Lauber saying sources told him there was a meeting before the game. Now, I'm not sure who led it, what was said. But, Hugh, they won't say there was a team meeting, but it's pretty clear they spoke yesterday before the game.
Yeah, I mean, and that's okay. That's okay, and I'm pretty sure that we had something to do with that. We influenced the meeting. You know what I'm saying? That shout out to all the fellas that listen. That maybe Zach was listening yesterday. Maybe Wheeler was checking out the show.
I like to imagine they drove in and they said, we heard Hugh and Joe say we probably should have a meeting.
I'll tell you what, man, and it sometimes it helps. I don't know what was said, but I'm pretty sure there was probably some uncomfortable conversations being had about contributions and things of that nature. But you got to have those sometimes, man. Sometimes you have to have some tough love in order to get you back on track, and it feels like they're back on track.
Well, they needed to wake up, and I thought last night they played with more urgency. It's like, they had some games this past week against Arizona, where they went down early, and it's just like they're flat, and there's no fight. Last night there was fight. I mean, they fought back from 2 3-run deficits, and then on top of it, they added on, Hugh, because when they went up 6-5 on the Schwarber home run, I was like, all right, that's great. I mean, they have the lead now. But I could use some insurance runs with the way Alvarado's pitched lately and the way the bullpen has been a little shaky. And they got those insurance runs. Everyone contributed. Let's hear from Kyle Schwarber after the game about the fight this team has.
I think the biggest thing about our team, right, is that, obviously, there's been some bad losses. It's a lot of runs scored and us not scoring some runs. But, I always feel like the fight's there. And that was just another example of it tonight to where, we were fighting and, obviously they jump out early, but, we're going to stay within ourselves and go out with our game plans. And I felt like we did a really good job off Cabrera, making him throw a lot of different pitches and getting his pitch count up and got him out after the fourth inning and got some really clutch hits there near the end of the game as well.
Well, they did, and they kept adding on, and they made it almost by the end, almost a stress-free win in the last few innings of the game. 215-592-9494. Let's react last night. Kyle, what do you think? Do you believe Kyle Schwarber saved the Phillies season last night?
No, because the guy sitting right next to you saved the Phillies season last night.
Credit where credit's due?
Is that what we're doing today?
Hashtag thank you, Hugh Douglas.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can take that credit because if I'm being fair and balanced like I try to be, y'all kind of bullied me into that. Like
we would never do that.
I'm almost feel like if it didn't work out, I probably would have called HR today.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Luckily for everyone, we didn't need to go through that.
Probably would have.
When I get that phone call, HR here, what did I do? You bullied your coworker.